Hey, let's look at this LeetCode problem number 177, where you need to find the nth highest salary. This is classified as a medium difficulty problem. I would say that this is an easy problem statement. It follows some syntax. So let's look at what the ask is. We are looking at reporting the nth highest distinct salary from the employee table. If there are less than n distinct salaries, then you need to return the null value. Okay, let's look at the examples that are given here. There is an input table with 3 rows, and the argument or the variable that you are passing n is 2. Therefore, you return the salary versus the second highest. Okay. Let's say if the table has only one row, whereas the expression n is given as 2, then you will return null. As I said, we use a function here. We will have to create a function. We will have to return a scalar expression to it and so on. Purely in the interest of time, I will paste the syntax here and we will develop the query as per this. Let me explain the syntax in the first place. You need to create a function. If it is a larger set, you will create the schema name and then followed by the function name. And in brackets, you put the parameter name and the data type of that parameter. You also return the data type, what you want to return. In addition, you give the begin where you explain the function body, and then you return the scalar expression. Scalar expression is nothing but it returns a single value instead of a range of values. And you end this entire query with a semicolon. Okay, so let's create the function. You don't have the schema name here, so we will get away with that and just put the function name. In the function, let's put the function name or the header name as this in the output function. And we have to write the parameter name. Let's say I call this a, and I will put it as int. And let's put returns. Keep in mind here it is returns, not return. Okay. And we have to put the data type of the return argument as well. Let's put int again, and let's begin this. And in the function body, there could be a few additional details which we may develop, but for now I am not going to put anything here. We will discover later. And let me put return. And in the scalar expression, I would like to select the highest salary with n as the variable. We have to find the distinct salary as it's mentioned here, also highlighted. Salary from employee table. Let me indent it so that it's easy to follow. Order by salary descending, limit to one value. We're looking at only one value there, offset by a. We'll end this. We'll also end this. The catch here is that you can't use offset a directly, because like other programming languages, SQL also reads the variables from 0. If you give n, it reads from 0 to n, which means that you're having additional variable, additional line item to read. If you give 11, it is going to read up to 12. If you give 15, it's going to read up to 16, and so on and so forth, because you're also counting from 0. In order to overcome this problem, what you could do is you can use something called as declare and set, wherein we would be modifying this variable a little bit. Declare a variable called b and call it integer type, and we need to set this value. B is equal to a minus 1. That way it only restricts to reading up to a number of variables, 1 to a, instead of actually reading it from the 0 onwards. And we will be offsetting by b. instead of A. Let's run this query and check how this is going to look like. Great, this has worked. And let's see what the input is and what is the outcome. So we got this table employee with 3 rows and n is 2. As per the salary, n for a value of 2, the second highest salary is 200. Let's see if you got this. I think this worked fine. Let's look at case 2. In case 2, we've got a table with only one data set, and if we put 2 here, it has returned null, as it should have been the case. There's an alternative way also to solve this problem. You can use something like denserank, but purely in the interest of time, we are not going into those details. But there are other methods to solve for, and this particular expression that we used using create function is very cool to solve this problem in an efficient way. Thank you.